Sharks and Titans, the stories they never wanted you to see. In July 2026, the world will stop. For 39 days, billions will watch. Hundreds of billions will be wagered. And one tournament will generate more revenue than the GDP of 130 countries. But the highlight reels won't show you the $229 billion Qatar spent on infrastructure now sitting underused in the desert. Or the $13.5 billion Brazil spent in 2014, with stadiums abandoned and overgrown. The World Cup is not a sports event. It is a global money machine. And the question is not who wins the trophy. The question is, who really profits? FIFA, a non-profit based in Zurich, governs the world's most popular sport. In the 2019-2022 cycle, it generated a record $7.57 billion in revenue. The Qatar World Cup alone accounted for $6.3 billion, $7.57 billion, from a country smaller than Connecticut, from stadiums built by migrant workers in conditions documented as exploitative, wage theft and dangerous environments, from air-conditioned desert arenas that now host occasional tour. But FIFA didn't pay for those stadiums. Qatar did. FIFA collected the television rights, the sponsorships, the hospitality packages, and walked away with the profit while Qatar kept the bill. That's the model. That's always been the model. The 2026 World Cup is different in scale. For the first time, it spans 3 countries, the US, Canada, and Mexico, with 48 teams. FIFA's budget projects $8.9 billion in revenue for 2026 alone. The 4-year target, $11 billion. The largest share comes from TV rights, $3.9 billion. Marketing, $1.8 billion. Hospitality, a record $3 billion. FIFA, as the sole owner of the World Cup brand, keeps it all. Not the host cities, not the taxpayers, FIFA. And what do the host cities get? Los Angeles is spending $1 billion on renovations. New York and New Jersey are allocating billions for infrastructure. Dallas, Houston, Miami, each pouring hundreds of millions into temporary setups. FIFA's direct contribution, $0. The host cities pay, the taxpayers pay, FIFA collects, but the real profit is in what the tournament sells. FIFA's marketing rights hit $1.8 billion in the last cycle. Sponsors like Adidas, Coca-Cola, and Visa pay premiums for exclusive association with the most watched event on Earth. 2026 is expected to generate nearly $3 billion in sponsorships alone. Broadcasters. Fox and Telemundo are projected to generate $850 million in U.S. ad revenue, triple 2022 figures. Globally, rights will surpass $4 billion. The World Cup doesn't sell football, it sells attention. Billions of eyes glued to screens, watching the same logos rotate. The brands know this. Nike and Adidas see massive spikes. The host country sees a tourism bump that economists debate covers the security costs. The math is consistent. The host pays, FIFA profits, the brands profit, and the fans pay twice, once with taxes, once with wallets. Qatar 2022 was the extreme. Reports cite $229 billion on infrastructure, including the Doha Metro and Lusail City built around the final stadium. The stadiums themselves, $6.5 billion. Today, Lusail Stadium, where Messi lifted the trophy, hosts occasional tour. The economic activity, estimates range from $2.3 to $4.1 billion in visitor spending, against $229 billion in investment. The IMF noted tourism contributed just 1% of Qatar's GDP. The government projected $17 billion in economic contribution. Whether that justifies the investment depends on whether you measure in dollars or in pride and publicity. which Qatar cited as primary goals. But 2026 is not Qatar. It is North America, existing NFL stadiums, existing infrastructure, a market of 350 million people. Surely, this time will be different. The economists are not so sure. Independent research finds that projected benefits rarely materialize. The jobs are temporary. The infrastructure is often temporary. The debt is permanent. Brazil 2014 spent an estimated $13.5 billion. The Arena da Amazônia in Manaus, where the best team plays in the 4th division, cost nearly $300 million. Brasilia's stadium, with no team to fill it, cost $900 million. Half of promised infrastructure wasn't delivered. The human cost: favelas cleared, families displaced, protests met with police response. The World Cup was supposed to unite Brazil. It became a symbol of inequality. So who really profits? FIFA, certainly. Its reserve fund grew to nearly $4 billion after 2022. Organized as a non-profit under Swiss law, it enjoys significant tax exemptions. President Gianni Infantino's compensation exceeded $4.6 million in 2023, with bonuses rising 33%. The brands? Absolutely. Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, each sees returns dwarfing the sponsorship fee. The World Cup is a global launch pad. The broadcasters, definitely. Fox and Telemundo will approach $1 billion in advertising revenue. But the host, the city, the taxpayer, they get the bill, the traffic, the security lockdowns, the inflated prices, the temporary jobs evaporating when the trophy is lifted. They get the debt. And they get the memory fading faster than stadium lights. $80 billion. That's the estimate for total gross economic output from the 2026 World Cup. $30.5 billion for the US alone. A figure larger than the GDP of Luxembourg, Iceland, and Panama combined. But follow the money. $11 billion to FIFA, nearly $3 billion to sponsors, over $4 billion to broadcasters, $1 billion to players, and the rest, scattered through an economy like confetti, visible for a moment then swept away. The host cities will spend billions. They will generate temporary activity. And when the last fan leaves, they will look at the empty stadiums, the quiet streets, the bills still coming due. And they will wonder, was it worth it? The players will remember the glory. The fans will remember the goals. FIFA will remember the revenue. But the city that paid, the taxpayer who funded it, the worker who built it, they will remember the invoice. The World Cup is the most beautiful game played on the most profitable stage built by the most invisible hands. And when the anthem plays and the world watches, ask yourself, who wrote the check? Who cashed it? And who was left holding the empty bag when the party ended?